Time, not space. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hello, and welcome back to I Don't Know What You're Talking About with Erin and Garrett. I'm Garrett, and with me, as always, is Erin. Erin, what's your favorite thing at a farmer's market? For anyone who doesn't know, I Don't Know What You're Talking About is a podcast between a married couple where we meet at the kitchen table. We talk about some things that have been in our similar orbits that we're enjoying, and also some things that are not in our same orbits. We bring some topics to the table to explain to the other. All right, Erin, back to that farmer's market question.
I would go to the farmer's market every single day if I could.
I mean, if we moved to the Bay Area, you could do that.
A daily farmer's market.
I mean, there were those summers when we lived in...
I think my dream job is shopping at a farmer's market.
Is that a job?
I could wake up and do that every day.
I think if you were like a buyer for a restaurant, that could be your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's usually the chef that does it.
The idea of going and picking out what looks good and then picking your meal from that, perfect.
You remember that summer in Oakland where I was working like 5 farmers markets a week?
Mm-hmm.
And I got to trade. I was selling tamales at the time. And I got to trade tamales with other...
I worked with you some.
Yeah, that's true. You were there. Yeah, I got to trade tamales for food with other tents. And we basically didn't buy groceries for an entire summer.
Yeah, we traded with Blue Bottle Coffee before Blue Bottle was big. It was just like a window in San Francisco, and then they had food cart stands. Maybe they had one brick and mortar shop, but it was definitely like just San Francisco.
Or just Oakland. Like Temescal is where I think of them.
Yeah, but I think their first spot was a window in the city.
Okay.
They had like you couldn't even go in. It was just a window.
Now they're big time, baby.
Yeah. There are cartons of NOLA coffee all over the place and artisan markets near you.
That was the best thing, that NOLA stylized coffee with chicory and sweet milk.
But we traded with them. So many people. We would just leave with like...
Oh, I would get fresh bread. I would get ravioli from the ravioli dude. I remember one time got a flat of heirloom tomatoes. And we just made like a giant heirloom tomato soup. Don't you remember? I wanted that soup recipe from that spot in Bend, Oregon that we love so much that Erin and I both kind of grew up on. And they have like a secret tomato soup recipe. And so I called and faked a food allergy and asked them to list every single ingredient in the soup. And then we recreated it. The secret ingredient was roasted red peppers that you deskin.
Mm-hmm. And blend with it.
Yep.
I want to get straight into what we're eating because this week... Oh, well, we had a fun day in Portland. Ran errands and we went to Nong's Come On Guy.
I literally have a note in my phone that says talk about Nong's.
Well, you should talk about Nong's because what I wanted to talk about was before we went to Nong's, we stopped at, I think it's called The Pantry, and it's Bialy Bird and Matcha Freak. Both of those little companies opened a little, like, counter walk-in.
An establishment, a restaurant.
Well, there aren't tables.
Oh.
It's just like a counter.
Okay.
It's like a little coffee shop, but they sell Bialys, like a few different types of Bialys and Bialy sandwiches, and then matcha. And I got an iced matcha with melon puree in it. It was like the sweetener.
Wow.
And oat milk. And they put lettuce on top of it for decoration. It was pretty. And our daughter got an iced oat milk with melon puree and also lettuce on top.
Yeah, she was pretty stoked.
And then we got a tomato basil, kind of roasted tomato olive oil Bialy and a hatch pepper queso Bialy.
Which was delicious. Yeah.
Yeah, the bread had like the hatch peppers kind of in the bready part, so it had that peppery, unique hatch pepper flavor in the actual bialy that was so good.
And for anyone who doesn't know what a bialy is, do you want to describe it?
It's like a bagel type snack, but without the hole. Maybe there's a small hole. It's like it's similar to a bagel, and it usually has a topping.
Yeah, I think of them as like a little more of like a filled-in bagel. Let's do a little Google image search. I do not know how to spell bialy. Did you mean bialy? Yes, I meant bialy. Yeah, there's like stuff in the hole.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a bagel. Are they really popular in Montreal? Is that their thing there?
Maybe.
Oh, there's no such thing as a Montreal bialy. The term likely refers to the distinct Montreal-style bagel.
Yeah, that's what I picture is those bagels that have a bigger hole and they're kind of skinny. Those are Montreal bagels, I think.
Oh, so this is like the opposite of a bialy.
Oh, yeah. Less hole.
Yeah.
Montreal is more hole.
So if you're going from biggest to least hole, it goes Montreal-style, regular bagel, bialy.
Yes. That's the spectrum of hole. And then we had Nog's.
Yeah, for anybody who's never been to Nong's Khao Mang Gai in Southeast Portland, it's a Thai street-style chicken and rice dish with like amazing sauce that's kind of like gingery. And our kids went with us, and we sat outside, and it was quite insane, especially because there was so many yellow jackets. Listeners, please comment on our Instagram post for this episode if you feel that there have been too many yellow jackets this summer, or more than usual.
Drop us a line.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Anything else that we've been eating?
I made some good chocolate chip cookies this week with einkorn flour. I don't like saying that word.
Yeah, I don't like hearing it.
Yeah. Should I not say it?
You could just say fancy flour.
Okay. I made some good chocolate chip cookies this week with fancy flour and like lots of big flaky sea salt on top. And I just ate the last one tonight.
Oh, news to me. Why is einkorn not fun?
Yeah, I really dislike saying it.
Einkorn. Is it just the syllables? Like the consonants?
And I don't like, it doesn't mean anything. Like if you happen to not know what that is, I'm like, oh, it's a better flour. Like better for you, easier to digest, whatever. I feel like there should just be a better word for that.
Yeah. Fancy flour.
Fancy flour.
Also, I think you can't really say einkorn fast. It's like such a clunky.
Einkorn flour, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I made it with einkorn flour. People are like, what? What did you say?
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying acorn flour, which it's funny because we just looked into if you can eat acorns. And you can, but you have to like put them through that process to remove the tannins or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we went and visited my sister, which shout out to frequent listener Chelsea, who just moved to a new spot out just outside of Corvallis. And there's these giant oak trees on the property, and like they drop these acorns from really high up. Like we parked our car and we're getting settled for the night, and I went out to the car to get something, and I heard this giant like, and I was like, what was that? And later I figured out it was an acorn dropping from a great height.
And then you got hit in the head by one.
Yes, I took one straight to the forehead, and it was not fun.
Yeah, it made me wonder if one could die from an acorn to the head.
I mean, I don't know.
Will you Google if it's ever happened?
Just Google acorn deaths real quick. Dozens of sheep deaths trigger toxic acorn warning. Nope. A human died from an acorn to the noggin. Yes, a person can die from a forceful impact by a falling acorn to the head, but it is extremely rare and would require an exceptionally tall tree and a very heavy acorn to achieve the necessary velocity and impact force for lethal injury.
My God. I'm glad you made it.
Me too. There's a Reddit thread of how tall would an oak tree have to be for an acorn to kill someone?
And
I'm going to try not to live Google or Reddit so much, even though we default to it.
my coworker gave me a butternut squash from her garden yesterday.
Butternut squash.
And we made soup. That's all.
It was good.
It was just nice to have a garden fresh squash from a coworker.
I mean, it's officially October. We can get into the fall things now. I won't get mad like I do on August 19th when people bring up spooky season and I yell at them on the internet. So yeah, full steam ahead with this, the gourds, the soups,
Full squash ahead.
the PSLs, the light sweaters, the full on for Halloween. Since it's October, you can get stoked for Halloween. And I am stoked.
We haven't picked costumes yet, though.
I thought we decided we're all going as, should we say?
Vegetables?
I mean, a tomato's a fruit, technically, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that idea. I just feel like our kids are so into Spider-Man this year that I picture they're going to be more excited in Spider-Man costumes.
would be an easier costume to order, too.
Like our 2-year-old, don't you think he's going to freak out if he's dressed as Spider-Man and be super excited?
He is so excited for Halloween. He talks about it every day.
Yeah.
And he just like makes these declarations. I'm going to Halloween.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm going. I'm doing Halloween. Okay, yeah. But anytime you ask him what he's dressing up as, he says like Peppa Pig,
Oh, yeah.
which I don't even think he's really watched that.
Forgot that that's what he's been answering. He said doggy for a while.
That'd be cute. He was Buzz Lightyear last year, right? Or no, last year. Maybe for school when he went to daycare.
He was Buzz Lightyear at school.
But he was rat. We did the Ratatouille family recipe.
I just want to do something they're both excited about.
So we're not doing Severance.
No. What have we been watching? Speaking of Severance,
I mean,
because
You
it's a
wanna-
show, we haven't been watching it.
do you want to talk generally about Task?
Sure.
I feel like Task is in this subgenre that's come around in the last like 15 years of like these really well done crime procedurals. Or, yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm getting a lot of like True Detective vibes from this. It's very intense.
I think it's on the edge of a little too intense for me. Like, I really like the procedural crime stuff and all the like investigation. And this has so many like edge of your seat, like holding your breath, anxious moments that the whole time I'm on edge. So it's a little less like comforting or something than those other shows where you're like, I don't know, want to be in it, and like it's a little harder for me to watch.
It's definitely flirting with an anxious edge for me, but I don't feel like it's too much like that movie Righteous Gems or something like that. When there was like
Uncut Gems.
Oh, sorry. I keep doing that. I keep confusing Righteous Gemstones with Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems, that it was constantly like, it was almost annoying at how like on edge everything was, because it was like characters were constantly making the wrong decision and doing things where you're like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's not like that on this. It's like almost like a good anxiety for me. You know, you can have like good cholesterol and bad cholesterol,
There's good stress and bad stress too.
right? You stress and me stress. What is it called? You stress and
It's eustress and
stress.
Stress. Stressy stress. I mean, some of it's just kind of depressing too, like the people you're rooting for.
Well, also, not to give too much away, but it almost seems like there's not a lot of hope for these characters. Like, I don't see this playing out well.
No hope.
But very invested with characters. I feel like they got us to start loving a good 4 or 5 characters very fast.
It's a really good show, and it just is very intense.
For sure. Have we watched anything else other than that recently?
We talked about that Dying for Sex show last week.
Which we did watch a little bit more of, and I'm liking it, but I'm not like dying for sex. I got a listening to. What are we listening to? The new Rochelle Jordan album just dropped. It's called Through the Wall. Rochelle Jordan was a little bit on my radar because of DJ things for like one or two tracks where I was like, oh, this is fun. But I follow this dude named Machine Drum, who's one of my favorite music producers of all time. I think he's always very ahead of the curve and so talented and prolific and like, yeah, million things I love about Machine Drum. But he produced this whole album for her, which I think I knew about her from she was featured on a Machine Drum track at one point. But I listened to it and it's really cool for so many reasons. First up, it's a lot of like house style beats, like four on the floor, like Boots and Cats music, like Boots and Cats, Boots and Cats. Mm-hmm. But it's so well produced that it's like, I want to play it for you in the car and like turn it up loud and like just have you listen to how like there's so much room in these songs in the mixes. Like you can hear the bass super well, the highs are amazing, and the vocals are so creamy and dreamy in the middle. That like it's really cool, and it's like a lot of the house music style harkens back to like kind of some 90s R&B style lyrics, and like I don't know, I feel like it's a really cool subgenre moment that I'm
I'd love to
excited if it continues. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Rochelle Jordan, I was digging it today. Erin just wrote something down on a piece of paper.
I'm putting her on the list.
All right.
Adding her to my playlist. I've been just listening to a lot of podcasts recently. I got back into kind of like kind of mystery investigation type podcasts. And I'm listening to one that's from the New Yorker right now. Yeah, I think it's from the New Yorker. About, you probably remember this child. It was like a kidnapping in the 80s, but his name was Jacob Wetterling. And so the podcast is all about like what went wrong in the investigation that it took like 27 years to find out who kidnapped this boy.
That stuff drives me crazy when there's
bad.
Just like crazy police incompetence and like
this story is like full of it. Yeah,
I don't want to listen to it because it makes me so crazy.
Yeah, it's wild because she even goes down the path of like they hadn't even interviewed everyone within like that lived on the same street of where this happened, and they were jumping to investigate psychic claims that were coming in on like tip lines.
Oh my gosh.
Not because they like believed the psychics, but because the detective was like, I always think it could be someone that's like saying that's how they know something because they don't want to be involved. But they were just investigating so many outlandish stories, and they hadn't even like done a good investigation close to home, like where he was actually kidnapped. And
that's disheartening.
Yeah. But it's a good podcast. It's just, I like these ones that are produced really well and have good storytelling.
Nice.
And dig deep in their investigations.
So the opposite of our podcast.
Yeah. I think it's called In the Dark.
Okay. In the Dark. I'm writing that down. I got what are we wearing?
What are we wearing?
I just wanted to say that we went to the Adidas employee store this weekend and I got a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah, Erin's jealous of my green gazelles. Watch out. But I just more thought it would be funny to talk about how our kids are insane to shop with.
Yeah. It's wild.
And I hadn't been to that new Adidas employee store building. Is it the Montgomery Park building?
Oh, maybe. Or it's right next to that.
Yeah. But it was gorgeous building, but that store was madness.
Yeah. Lost our kids multiple times.
I think it's so funny how Adidas hands out these employee store shopping passes, but like Yeah.
Oh, we got one in the mail.
Really?
And it just says to current resident. So
Current
they're for everybody.
See, like through teaching, they give us these like once or twice a year. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, Nike is more exclusive.
Yeah, we all know who the real exclusive shopping thing is out here.
All right, should we transition?
Sure. I was going to do a what are we drinking and talk about our new electric kettle. Was it?
Oh, yes. Go for it.
Yeah, so we had some good friends from LA stay with us for like 5 nights. And
Shout out Luke and Amanda.
yeah. And they had their 2 great kids with them. And it was madness in our house, but it was very fun and like awesome to spend so much time with them. But we were making coffee every morning using this, kettle that we have on the stove. And then,
Like peasants.
yeah, exactly. Although I like that Japanese whistleless kettle. But anyway, after they left, like a week later, this fancy electric kettle with like a gooseneck pour stout showed up on our porch for us, and with a note about for us making coffee with it. And it's a really, really good, sneaky good gift because we use it every single day and it's so nice. And so every time I think how nice it is and how nice a gift it was from Luke and Amanda.
So the brand for the kettle is Fellow, and they sent this sweet note that says, "Thanks to you hot fellows for letting us pour over your grounds all week. Staying with you was as easy as the push of a button. You've really got hosting dialed in, and we can't imagine a better way to spend the week. You really heat up our beans. All our love, Luke and Amanda."
I forgot about that punny card. That is so well written.
It's really sweet.
I brought up that murderino thing earlier, which is what my favorite murder ladies call their fans. And I feel like all the podcasts I listen to do this. They have a word for their fans. So would you be willing to workshop what we should call our fans?
I'd be willing.
At first I was thinking that we should call them idiots because they don't know what we're talking about. But it seems
Rude.
not nice. Do you have any ideas?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, I'm thinking, but I don't have any ideas yet. I might need to present some ideas next week.
IDKers,
IDKers. That's pretty good. What does All Fantasy Everything call their people?
all family, everything.
IDKers is good.
Yeah, we'll keep thinking about it. Or maybe we'll have some kind of contest on our Instagram for people to...
With a giveaway.
We're going to give away that kettle. Just kidding. I never would. It's too nice.
Just kiddle.
Just kettle. Well, yeah, we should probably get to our topics. Oh, wait, except we're going to play Name That MacGuffin. Bum ba da ba da da do 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 boom ba da 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 da. So, for anyone who doesn't know, a MacGuffin in a movie, or I thought you were trying to grab my phone. I was like, no, you can't see the MacGuffin. A MacGuffin is a plot device, usually in movies or books, that is like an object or a noun that people are trying to get a hold of. The popular classic MacGuffin is like, in a spy movie, it might be like the microfilm that like has something about documents that incriminate someone. So the bad guys are trying to keep it secret and the good guys are trying to get a hold of it.
Like the microchip.
Microchip? I said microfilm, but yes. But you're, slightly younger than me. I'm older. So little micro-generational difference there.
Okay.
Any questions about what a MacGuffin is?
Nope. Got it.
All right. So I'm going to name a movie.
But you should explain it a different way every episode.
I did kind of. I have been a little bit like last week I talked about Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Didn't I?
You mean in the definition, not as my MacGuffin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The MacGuffin last week was Labyrinth.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to name a movie.
Okay.
And Erin's going to try to name the MacGuffin in the movie.
Okay.
All right. Jurassic Park.
Are they trying to actually get like a, not like antidote, but like, I forget what he has in like that vial. That
An antidote for dinosaurs?
I remember he has like,
What are you picturing when you picture a vial?
I feel like the one scientist dude is like formulating something
As they do.
and that will help them with the situation.
Situation?
The dinosaurs.
Have the dinosaurs escaped at this point, or?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a scientist that has... We should probably watch
Just tell me
Jurassic Park again.
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, this one's kind of a mini MacGuffin, in my opinion. But I was thinking of the embryos that Dennis Nedry tries to steal. Remember when he puts them in the bottom of that shaving cream can that keeps them cold because he's trying to
Totally.
steal the embryos for a competing company? The whole plot of the island was that the plot of the movie was them making an island and getting these embryos from the mosquito blood that was trapped in amber. So the whole reason they were able to make Jurassic Park is because of the blood, and then able to like synthesize the embryos. And then Dennis Nedry was a mole that was trying to steal the embryos for the bad company.
Okay.
Although are all the companies bad when you think about it?
Yeah. Companies are bad.
Especially ones that make dinosaurs.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get that one.
It's okay. Like I said, I'm struggling with coming up with new ones. The internet is useless for this now. I've exhausted every list. So now I just have to sit there and think about the movies that I've seen and if they had a MacGuffin in them. So listeners, please follow IDKWITA pod, P-O-D, on Instagram. Please send us a DM if you've got a MacGuffin. Actually, I should check it right now. I haven't checked to see if we have any fresh MacGuffs.
I think you should tell me the MacGuffin and I'll play the movie.
I think this is a flawed concept, Erin. You keep saying this. I'm just going to be like, okay, the jewel.
Titanic.
Yes, that was correct. Yeah, I don't see any PMs about MacGuffins. All right. Well, normally during an episode, we each bring one topic to the table and we kind of go in depth with that topic. But tonight, Erin and I decided to do mini topics, which means that we each brought 3. Is this true, Erin?
Yeah, I have 2 or 3.
Okay. Well, I'll match whatever energy you're putting out there. Like if you do 2, I'll do 2.
Okay.
You can always save it for another mini topic episode. Mm-hmm. But we are going to play a customary game of rock, paper, scissors. Best 2 out of 3. Boom, boom, shoot. Whoever wins gets to decide the order tonight. And I'm thinking that it'll just be like a ping pong after that. So whoever goes first, and that'll be like...
Okay.
80. Ready? Oh, Erin cut my paper with her scissors. Oh, my rock smashed her scissors. Oh, my paper covered her rock. That was a good one. Garrett liked it. These are good moves.
Garrett's impersonating Milan Patel. Milan Patel.
I think we talked about him on here.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Go listen to Milan Patel's Netflix is a joke stand-up special. I think it's like 10 minutes or something. Well, I think I'm going to go first. But don't worry. Don't fret, Erin. It's a mini topic. So it's not going to take very long.
Okay.
So I've been following Kenji Lopez, celebrity chef Kenji Lopez on Instagram. And we cooked burgers recently. And I read this article about his most recent burger tips. Because when I went to go back and Google Kenji Lopez burger tips, there's articles that go way back.
But his tips have evolved.
Yes, and sometimes contradict tips that he gave before.
I mean, that's a good trait, like improvement culture.
True. being able to admit that you're wrong.
Yeah, and learning from experience. And
True. So one of his big tips is to grind your own beef. This is one that I'm not super into because it seems like we'd have to get a lot more
appliances.
equipment in the kitchen for grinding our own beef. But I would love to try a fresh ground beef burger.
We could just do it in the blender.
Oh my gosh. You think the Vitamix can handle it?
No, this grosses me out.
Yeah. There's no way that that's good. So he said you're kind of gambling with store ground beef, but he recommends an 80% to 20% fat or beef fat ratio, which I always wonder when I see 90/10s or 95/5s of how much fat you actually need in a burger. He recommends keeping everything very cold. So you want to keep it just super chilled until the moment it goes onto the grill, because even fat at room temperature starts to come off and come off on people's hands and stuff, but you want maximum fat in the burger.
Interesting.
This is probably the biggest tip I'm going to take away, is that to not work the beef with your hands too much. That's similar to when you're kneading bread dough and creating those gluten bonds where it makes it stronger. That happens with meat as well. But if you're working it with your hands, it makes it tougher, essentially. It creates these protein bonds where it's going to be too chewy. So he basically was throw it out of the package if you do packaged ground beef, and then gently shape it into patties. Don't mess with it.
Interesting.
Yeah. He also said not to add salt to the meat before you make the patties. Because,
patties and then make patties and then do the salt.
Right. Yeah, and I've definitely done it the other way, where you have a big bowl full of ground beef, you throw in a bunch of salt and pepper, and you mix it all around and then make your patties.
Yeah, and sometimes other things like diced onions.
Yeah, he was like, don't do any of that extra stuff either. Don't add shit to it, because really it creates more of you handling the beef and creating those protein bonds that makes it tougher. So you're supposed to create your patties very gently, not working it very much, and then salt it right before you put it on the grill, just on the outside of the burger. Go for a char on one side, so you can do this in a pan or on the barbecue, but leave it alone. Just let it sit there and get that crispiness on one side, and then flip it for a little bit. But this is the one that he contradicted himself, because I read an earlier article where he was like, flip it all the time. It actually cooks way faster if you are flipping constantly, and you get a more even cook out of that.
But now he says leave it on one side and then...
Yeah, now he's like, don't touch it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
What about the divot in the middle?
He did talk about that one as well. And that's a trick I've been using for a long time, that if you're making a thicker, bigger beef patty, to do a little concave divot in the middle, because when the meat swells up from cooking, it won't turn it into a balloon, an ellipse or whatever, that it'll make it just more like a flat beef patty.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely divot in the middle.
Thanks. Hot beef tips.
Yeah, these are hot beef tips with Garrett.
Fresh off the grill.
It's the name of my meat podcast.
Fresh off the grill.
All right, that was my first mini topic, Erin.
Okay, I'm going to do my smaller one and then my better one after.
So you do have two.
Yeah, I have two or I have three. Maybe I'm only feeling like two.
All right, well, now I have to decide between my other two topics about which one's more fun.
My topic is about this artist named Lake Titicaca.
Lake Titicaca? Is this what are we looking at? Non-moving image?
Yeah. But go to her Instagram. LaeTitiaky.
Okay, I think I got her.
That is her hair.
Oh, she's okay.
So she's an artist that uses her hair to make all kinds of things. And it's truly incredible.
Yeah, listeners should know I'm looking at there's a picture of her holding some teacups, and then her head on top of her head, all her hair is like woven into a tea kettle,
Yeah.
or the outline of a tea kettle, I should say.
Go like 2 or 3 rows down to where she's meditating, and she has one hand in like a meditation pose, and then her hair is doing the other hand.
Yeah, I see that. Wow.
And fishing below that. Do you see the
I do see that.
fishing
Yes.
pole?
Wow, how long do you think her hair is normally?
It's amazing.
Or do you think this is like kind of like an extension?
I don't know.
Does she also paint? I've seen a lot of paintings.
Yeah, it seems like it. Whoa, look at that boob painting.
All their boobs are tied together. Those are the longest boobs I've ever seen. Wow. Okay.
Isn't it amazing?
It is amazing. Oh, do you see the one of her carrying fruit in a tote bag that's her hair?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. These are intense, but also like whimsical and funny.
Yeah. I really love them.
Do you want to describe that painting?
No. Anyways, we'll share this on the Instagram, but super unique art that she does with her hair.
And super unique paintings. Oh my gosh, look at the one below that with all those guys with their penises tied together. It's like a rat king. You know, or supposedly rats get all their tails tied together. Yeah, this is wacky and amazing. That elephant one's crazy. I want to see like a video process. Funny how when there's just a regular picture of her, I'm like, snoozers.
Let's see your hair in a wacky shape. Look at this one where this guy's penis is it's at the very top, is the broom.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's a broom penis dustpan vagina situation. My favorite thing about that is like her standing in front of the painting with the most like serious look on her face.
Mhm.
Like, well, come on, that painting's a little like little tongue in cheek. Can't just make a penis broom and be very serious about it.
Yeah. She's amazing. Okay.
Nice, I like it. I'm gonna follow. Okay. I'm going to give you a choice, Erin. So I have 2 topics left. One of them has to do with art. The other has to do with nature.
Nature.
All right. I have some mosquito news for you, Erin.
Okay.
All right. Strap up. So, at a music festival in the Netherlands in 2023, scientists set up these portable lab stations to have people come and get tested about how attractive they are to mosquitoes. So, they had mosquitoes in these tanks, and people would put their arm up against like this mesh thing on the side of the tank, and they would record how many of the mosquitoes were interested in going over to the person and like smelling them essentially. The participants couldn't get actually bit, but the mosquitoes could like land like they were going to bite, but they couldn't bite through the thing. So people would do this, and then there would be like a counter up at the top, like a number that went off for how many mosquitoes were attracted to you. And they just did this all day long, just getting like music festival goers to test how many mosquitoes were attracted to them. They said it was really funny because people were kind of like drunk at certain points, and like couples would come in being like, I bet I'm more attracted by mosquitoes. I always get way more bit than you. And then like they would prove it by like getting their number, and people would be like, see, I told you. But the results of what they found are kind of interesting. Apparently, drinking beer, smoking weed, and sleeping next to someone at night made people more likely to get bit by mosquitoes. Like 45% more likely.
What?
Yeah. Also, they found out that wearing sunscreen made people way less likely to get bit,
Interesting.
which I thought would be good news for people that had put on a daily sunscreen, or if, you know, in the summer you're crazy about sunscreen that you're not going to get bit as much.
Yeah. I feel like those first factors, like, causation versus correlation.
What, you think the sleeping next to someone, there's like a third factor?
Yeah. I mean, the drinking beer maybe is more a direct cause. But the sleeping next to someone seems strange.
I mean, if you sleep next to someone, you're probably more likely to drink beer, right?
That's what I was thinking. Maybe they're connected.
You're like, this is weird. Everyone who drinks beer also sleeps next to someone. These Dutch scientists would work from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. because they got, there was so many people, but these tents were so popular with the mosquito data that they would have, lines out the door all day long. But they would work from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and then they would go party at the festival and then collapse in their tents and then get up at 9 a.m. and do this again. Which just seems so European that they're so into science and partying at the same time.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So the Dutch scientists, after all this investigation, said to avoid drinking beer, smoking weed, and sleeping next to someone. Or they said, do whatever you want and just wear long sleeves.
And sunscreen.
Yeah. That's all I got in nature news with Garrett.
Love it.
Grilling with Gary.
My second one, slightly sad. Did you see that Jane Goodall passed away today?
I did see that she passed today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just thought about her a lot more recently because I attended a training on storytelling from a guy who worked for her for years and years and years. And so all of his stories were about traveling the world with her.
Oh.
And just how incredible she was. And he talked about this chimpanzee, this chimp stuffed animal that she took everywhere with her. And he, to this training, brought a replica of it, the same one.
Oh, wow.
To show us. But yeah, so I was just reading about her life. And she was, she was born in 1934. 1991.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know a ton about her other than that she, worked with primates a lot.
I think of her as a very influential female scientist. She just did a lot of really innovative work and told stories and did tons of conservation work. Traveled all over the world.
Yeah, was she more than just a scientist? I always think there's a humanitarian celebrity scientist.
Yeah, because she had the Jane Goodall Institute too, and lots of research and philanthropy.
So she was a philanthropist too.
An English zoologist, primatologist, and anthropologist, she was considered the world's foremost expert on chimpanzees, having studied the social and family interactions for over 60 years.
Wow.
She was the founder of the Jane Goodall Institute and the Roots and Shoots program and had worked extensively on conservation and animal welfare. She was on the board of the Non-Human Rights Project. She was named a United Nations Messenger of Peace. She was born in 1934 in Hampstead, London. When she was a child, Goodall's father gave her a stuffed toy chimpanzee named Jubilee as an alternative to a teddy bear. Goodall had said her fondness for it sparked her love for animals, commenting, "My mother's friends were horrified by this toy, thinking it would frighten me and give me nightmares."
Chimpanzee.
Jubilee still sits on Goodall's dresser in London. I think that's the stuffed animal he was talking about.
So that's what kind of sparked her interest in primates?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because it was just because of her dad.
Giving her a stuffed animal of it.
Oh my God, I read this sidebar, but I have all my students write me a letter about their history with mathematics in the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. And this one that I read today, it almost made me cry because she was talking about how math was her favorite subject growing up. And her dad was super into math and would push her a lot and like work her, or not work her, but work with her constantly to like help her with math stuff. And she was really good at it and loved it, connected with her dad over it. And then her dad tragically passed away.
Oh my God.
And so she like stopped doing math, like didn't care about it, and like started doing worse and like went down this path of like a different route. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry right now just thinking about being a dad with a daughter that I want to let, at least have a good relationship with math, not the, one that a lot of people have.
I mean, and not even just the math thing, just like the impact that those types of that relationship has on your kids and what they're gonna like be passionate about and like care about. And
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
if Jane Goodall's dad had given her like some other kind of toy, like would she have studied primates?
yeah, I know we were watching. There was some like chef show on last night, and this guy was talking about how he like everything he does, he thinks about how his parents taught him to like follow through on your word, and like if you say you're going to do something, do it or something.
Yeah,
But it was
I
just
remember.
making me think about how crazy it is to be a parent and about these lessons that we're instilling in your kids to support them in their whole lives
Yeah.
and be like good people. And
Right.
yeah,
Should we give our daughter a stuffed chimpanzee? Or
yeah.
do we want her to study primates for 91 years? Or- Yeah, I wonder if they'll like a good doc will come out about her. I'd love to watch it.
Yeah. Okay, that was my second mini topic.
All right, is it my turn for final topic? Okay, final topic is that there's a movie in theaters right now that we want to see called One Battle After Another.
Does anyone want to babysit for us?
Yes, listeners, please DM IDKWYTA pod if you want to babysit for us. It helps if you live in the Portland area. But yeah, One Battle After Another is the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie. For anybody who's not familiar with Paul Thomas Anderson, or PTAs, or PTA, which is how I'll refer to him from now on. His filmography is Boogie Nights, Magnolia, Punch Drunk Love, There Will Be Blood, The Master, Inherent Vice, Phantom Thread, Licorice Pizza, and now One Battle After Another. It's an adaptation of a novel written by Thomas Pynchon, which he also wrote Inherent Vice, which Inherent Vice, one of our good friends, Ellie, friend of the pod, lent me that book.
An IDKer.
She's an IDKer. She's an idiot. She lent me that book like 4 times, and I feel like I started it so many times and just never got into it, but I probably should. Because Paul Thomas Anderson was like obsessed with it and made it into a movie. Although I think it's maybe not one of his better ones. Inherent Vice. At any rate, yeah, it was adapted from a novel called Vineland.
I'm not sure if I've seen Inherent Vice.
Yeah,
It's familiar,
I've watched it later. I might have. But in One Battle After Another, it's starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, and Tiana Taylor, which I feel like there's a lot of music people getting into movies these days. ASAP Rocky is in a new film with Conan O'Brien, which is really funny, but it's called If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Also, I'm leaving out the main lady in that, who's Rose...
Burn.
Yeah, I think that's her name, Rose Byrne. I really want to see that. Also, yeah, Tiana Taylor is like a rapper. Now she's in this Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Also, I saw a preview for this crazy new
Movie.
movie. That's what I was trying to think of. What are those moving pictures called? No, who's that crazy actor that's like been in a billion movies and goes over the top and was in Raising Arizona.
Oh, you mean the woman in that?
No, I mean the dude. I'm having
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Thank you. Not Holly Hunter. I can think of Holly Hunter, but not Nicolas Cage. There's a new Nicolas Cage movie. Also, we're going to cut out all that stuff where I couldn't think of Nicolas Cage. Where he's kind of like a Jesus figure. I'm not sure what's going on, but I saw that FK Twigs is in it.
Oh.
So it's like ASAP Rocky, FK Twigs, Teyana Taylor. They're all doing it. One Battle After Another, which I'm just going to call OBAA from now on, cost over $130 million to make. And this is Paul Thomas Anderson's most money spent on a film, despite his most successful film, There Will Be Blood, only made $76 million. So I feel like he's really banking that we're all going to watch this one. PTA originally approached Leonardo DiCaprio to play Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights instead of Mark Wahlberg back in the day. But DiCaprio turned it down and instead to do Titanic, but later regretted that decision after seeing Boogie Nights, saying it was a profound movie of his generation and an absolute masterpiece. Can you imagine being Leo DiCap and being like, man, I should not have done Titanic. I should have done Boogie Nights.
No, that's wild because Titanic was so like a big deal for his career.
It was the biggest movie on the planet.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
But it was also like, in retrospect, maybe not that great.
Like as a film?
Yeah. So maybe that's kind of what he's also saying. Like,
I mean, it was impressive. Like, I think that James Cameron did some things that hadn't been done in films before. But that doesn't always mean it translates to a really great movie. But I don't know. I think Titanic holds up a little bit. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 stars.
have you watched it recently? I'm not questioning your holding up.
Have you watched it recently?
No, I'm saying you said that it holds up like you watched it.
I think I just ran through all the scenes in my head real quick, and I think it would hold up.
You just watched it in your head.
Yeah, like real quick.
No, but I think we should watch it.
Speaking of roles that Leo turned down, I'm down to watch Titanic with you. Leo also turned down
Do
an
you
offer.
have that segue in there in your notes?
No, that was off the cuff, Erin. Leo also turned down the opportunity to play Spider-Man in the late 1990s because he didn't think he was ready for such a big role, but instead he asked he asked the director to look into his good buddy Tobey Maguire to be considered for the part. Can you imagine those 3 Spider-Man movies with Leonardo DiCaprio?
No, but I don't think I'm a huge Tobey Maguire fan.
I don't think anybody is really.
Really. That's too
Yeah,
bad.
I should look at his IMDb about what he's done lately, but yeah, I feel like he wasn't prolific. Certainly not like Leo is. Speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio, for this new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, he received his standard $25 million for the part, which I didn't know. He just has like a blank, like, yeah, do you want me in a movie? It's $25 million, and that's it. No matter what the movie, that's crazy.
It's insane.
Another fun fact about this movie is it was shot in VistaVision, which is a 35 millimeter variant that is shot sideways, like kind of landscape style, and it makes for a finer graininess to the film. It was developed in the 50s, but then abandoned in the 60s when things became like cheaper to make different styles of film. But in the last year, The Brutalist with Adrian Brody was shot in VistaVision. Mm-hmm. And so now all the big directors are like getting back into it. So Paul Thomas Anderson shot this film all in VistaVision. And there's like a bunch of things coming out in the next couple of years from other huge directors that are all in VistaVision. So they're doing like a little throwback. Also, it has like a 1.85 to 1 aspect ratio. So like 1 tall, 1.85 wide. That's like kind of specific, which is like some super film nerd shit when you get into like, oh, what aspect ratio was this shot in?
Yeah. I'm so excited to go see it.
Me too. I had to be careful not to try to read too much about reviews of the film. I definitely saw some people that were like, it was fine.
The previews look so good.
Yeah, the previews look great. And I love all those actors. And Paul Thomas Anderson is great. Should we watch all of his previous movies before we go see that?
Yes, to prepare in chronological order.
Okay.
And read each book adaptation. Other way around, I mean. Books
first?
Well, I didn't mean to say book adaptations, like books that there was movie adaptations of.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
The source material.
The source material. My last topic is crown shyness.
Excuse me?
Can you guess what it is?
Is this a dentistry term? When they're trying to put a crown on you, but people are
too shy.
They're too shy. They don't want to open their
too
mouths.
Too shy for a crown.
We wanted to give her a crown, but she's too shy.
We call it crown shyness.
Oh, she's got crown shyness?
Typical genetic. Nope.
Just going to put CS in her file.
It's also known as canopy disengagement, canopy shyness. Now, can you guess what it is?
Is this like a science thing about ecosystems that are found in the tops of rainforests?
Kind of. Interesting.
Kind of? What do you mean, kind of?
Well, that's it. I don't think so, but it's the phenomenon observed from some trees in which the top of them, the crowns,
the canopy,
of each tree does not touch any other tree.
Oh, interesting.
So you get where it looks like channels through them. Really beautiful. You've seen it in here. It's like,
oh, I know what you're talking about. So yeah, when you're on the ground looking up, it's almost like you're looking at a topographic map where the negative space would be like rivers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trees don't touch.
Yeah. But it's so interesting looking because you would obviously expect that they would touch. Like, of course, they would grow into each other.
Right.
But they don't. So they forms those like channel like gaps where none of the individual tree canopies are touching the others, called crown shyness.
Okay.
It is most prevalent for trees of the same species, but it also can occur from different species.
Okay.
And there's different hypotheses about why this happens. Some that it's an adaptive behavior. Like, for example, it might inhibit the spread of certain insects or larvae that hurt the trees. Or like,
ash beetles and all that.
Yeah. The exact cause is not certain, though. Some hypotheses contend that they've adapted because of like wind damage, that wind would cause damage if they were touching, causing like the crown shyness response so that the wind won't cause damage.
I have a theory about why it happens.
Why?
Because it would just be awkward. Like if you're a tree and you're just like constantly touching another tree. I wouldn't like that. I don't even like it when your leg grazes somebody else, like in a meeting or something.
Yeah. You're like individual. It'd be weird.
Do you ever have that where somebody across the table at a meeting like puts their feet on your feet or something and think that it's part of the table, and then it's awkward about like, do you move immediately or do you like stay there for the rest of your life?
Yes. I'm definitely in the camp of move immediately.
Yeah. But then it's like they're always like, oh
sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we should have a general rule as a society that you don't have to apologize in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Let's just collectively apologize and then...
I bet there's some cultures that have that rule. I feel like Japan is probably up on that, where they're like, it's actually rude to apologize when that happens.
A prominent hypothesis is that canopy shyness has to do with mutual light sensing by adjacent plants. The photoreceptor-mediated shade avoidance responses, the documented behavior in plant species. Neighbor detection is thought to be a function of several unique photoreceptors. Plants can sense the proximity of neighbors by sensing back scattered far red light. Crazy. Like, that's how they're doing it, not why.
That makes sense that you would want to keep your leaves directly in the sun and not like being shaded by other trees.
Right, but I think this is also explaining how they, like, not just the purpose of not touching the other trees, but how do they actually like accomplish that and not
How
just
they
like
figure it out.
Yeah,
Because
it's
they
like
don't have eyes.
exactly. It's through these photoreceptors.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more going on with trees than we give them credit for. Don't they like talk to each other through the roots and stuff too?
Yeah, there's like those sensors they put on plants, and when people talk to them and stuff, there's like, yeah. But I wanted to do this because it's so beautiful, like the way the light and sky comes through.
Yeah, the pictures of it are great. So not all trees do this.
No.
It's like kind of a unique, would you say like more often than not they do this, or this is kind of a rare thing?
Crown shyness isn't universal. It occurs in specific species, particularly in temperate forests with similarly aged trees, and can also be seen in tropical and pine forests worldwide. While the exact frequency isn't quantified, its documented presence in diverse locations suggests it's a naturally common phenomenon wherever suitable species and conditions are found.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I feel like I notice it fairly often. I mean, I feel like I've been in... Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna notice it way more often though.
Mm-hmm.
What's the opposite of crown shyness? Crown outgoingness?
Yeah. Crown extroverts.
What if you were a tree and you were right next to like a loudmouth tree that got in your space?
Conditions that promote crown shyness. Abrasion from branches rubbing together in the wind can damage growing tips, signaling the tree to stop growing in that area. Light levels. Growing tips may detect the proximity of another branch through light levels, triggering a stop to growth to maintain space. Some theories suggest that trees may sense the presence of disease or insects from neighboring branches, leading them to maintain a distance to prevent spread. And then competition for light. The need to compete with the neighbor trees for resources like light can also contribute to the phenomenon.
Competition for Light was my rap album in college.
The main locations, like tropical rainforests of Malaysia, Indonesia, Amazon rainforest in South America, eucalyptus forests in Australia, Florida's pine forests and cloud forests in Costa Rica, temperate forests in Japan.
Florida has pine forests? I wonder if pines are like considered exotic in Florida or something like that, so they're more notable as opposed to us that were raised in the pines.
Raised in the pines. Crown shyness can be observed in the Pacific Northwest. Studies in the Canadian pine forests have confirmed the wind-induced crown shyness. Also, Sitka spruces are known to exhibit crown shyness, and some other conifers.
I was going to ask if it was conifers.
Crown shyness when trees need personal space.
Well, I'm going to be looking for it now when we're hiking. Wow, good topics. All right, Erin. Well, I thank you for joining me tonight. I enjoyed our mini topics. Perhaps we'll do these again after a few regularly scheduled episodes.
I think our daughter wants to be on next week for some dinosaur facts.
Oh, yeah, we got to have her back on. She was popular.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right, love you.
Love you. Good night.
Good night.
Have you ever transcended space and time?
Yes. No. Time, not space. No, I don't know what you're talking about.